Hello all. You're catching me right out of the shower because this is the 10 minutes in which it's going to be bearable to be outside today. It's going to be very, very hot, but I wanted to do a quick video for you. My last video about the Leonardo Micarta pen, one of you asked a question about how it compared to the Garolite from a special edition from Edison pens, so I thought I would do a very quick comparison of the two. On this, here they are right next to each other. I'll do some close-up photos, you know. So here are the similarities. It's not the usual material you see in the pens. They're a very similar color, actually. Now, Micarta can come in all kinds of colors. I'm assuming Garolite can too. So I think the fact that they are both a similar color is more happenstance than anything. Each of them provides a pattern on the side of the body, so it'll be easier to see in the close-up, but see there's sort of a crisscross pattern in the side of the body. Looks like fabric. So that's a similarity. Oh, there seems to be someone in the alley. But that's about where the similarities end, because they are made of fundamentally different materials. Sorry, I gotta have a sip of coffee. I'm not really clicking yet. The Micarta, as I said earlier, is a cloth material, linen, some sort of cloth that then has acrylic or plastic or glue or some kind of plasticky bonding agent, bird flying overhead, injected into it. The Garolite is fiberglass that then has the bonding agent or acrylic injected into it. So they're really quite different materials, even if there's some similarities to their process or how they look in the end. They also feel completely different. This feels like a natural material. It feels like cloth or wood. I guess, well, cloth is cotton. It feels like it's got definitely an organic feel. It warms to the touch, not quite like ebonite does, but it's got a great feel in the hand. This feels like most pens feel in the hand. Now, I'm not saying that's bad, but I'm just saying it feels like a rather typical acrylic pen would feel. In addition to that, there are a number of differences in how these pens were made themselves. So, as you see on the Leonardo pen, they've used the Micarta all the way through. They do give, stilo does give you that extra acrylic section if you want to be really certain you're not going to get any ink on your pen. And by the way, I had a little panic yesterday because I realized at the end of the day, because I'm so addled, that I'd done something I swore I was not going to do with this pen, which is I kept it in a pocket all day. Now, often when I keep pens in a pocket, they'll get a little ink bleed right here, and I thought, uh-oh, that's going to come out and it's going to stain this material. And fortunately that didn't happen, or if it actually did just a tiny bit, but you can't really tell. But you need to be really careful with Micarta pens. Even if you're careful about filling them, you have to be careful to store them nib up and not get them too warm so that you don't get that little bit of ink bleed out the end of the section. Anyway, so what Edison has done is they have some plain acrylic parts at key points on the pen. There's one right here. I don't know how well you can see that. You'll be able to see it in the photos better. And the section is acrylic. Now they've matched it beautifully. This caramel color is really nice. I like it a lot. In doing that, it suggests that they're concerned about staining on the Garolite. But I don't quite understand why Garolite would stain. But let me just say, Because of this section, you're not going to have a problem. Also, because of this section, it suggests a problem would have been possible had this been Garolite all the way down. So there's that. I'll flip the camera around and give you some close-ups of these two pens. They're both really terrific pens. As you know, I'm a big fan of both companies. This Leonardo is really special. I don't see Leonardo making a whole lot of Micarta pens. The design of this, I love the simplistic design. It feels great. The setup and packaging by Stilo e Stile, top notch. This is a terrific pen, but I think all Colliers are terrific pens. I've got about half a dozen of them. So I don't see any, unless you really like this caramel color and this look, I don't see any particular reason to get this pen over another Collier. That's not a dig on this pen at all. I'm just saying Colliers are great pens. Pick the color and material you like. There's not a particular reason to go for this material, which is pretty close to sold out anyway. It was a very limited run. They did make enough. It's in their production line, so they made enough to get it to their various distributors, but each distributor only had a handful to sell. So let me turn the camera around and show you some close-ups of these two pens, and then I am going to go get ready to go throw myself in a cement pond. Hey, I just want to do a quick addendum and say how much I appreciate it when pen makers experiment with these different kinds of materials. I'm sure it results in loss of material and loss of time as they figure out how to adjust their equipment to these new materials and have failures. And I bet you that micarta stuff, I bet you those little threads come loose and wreak havoc with their machinery. Anyway, I appreciate the experimentation with new materials to keep trying to give those of us who love fountain pens different kinds of experiences.